whispered logic puzzles. Thank you for joining me. I'm Andrea, and I'm going to continue on Sandwich Sudoku on level 35. This is an 8-star level. So in Sandwich Sudoku, like in regular Sudoku, each row has the digits from 1 to 9 with no duplicates. Each column has the digits from 1 to 9 with no duplicates. And each 3x3 square, surrounded by the wider border, has the digits from 1 to 9 with no duplicates. What's different about Sandwich Sudoku is these numbers along the left side or along the top. The numbers along the left will tell you what the digits between the 1 and the 9 in that row, if you add them up, what the sum would be. Along the top will tell you between the 1 and the 9, if you add up the digits, what that sum will be. So using this information, first I usually start with looking for 1s and 9s. I see it's a minimum of 4 digits, which puts an X right here. Okay, so this is a minimum of 4 digits. So something I've realized, one of these two spots over here will have to be a 1 or a 9. Actually, it would have to be a 9 in one of these two, because down here we'll have the 1. But it has to be over here, because to make 4 digits, if I had this as a 1 or a 9, I wouldn't have room to go over here. So, one of these two. And that also means, since it's a maximum of 5 digits, if this was the 9, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would have to be the 1. So this can't be a 1 or a 9. And also now, since I have a 1 in one of these two, and a 9 in one of these two, I can put X's up here. So before I go further, in this center square, I can't have both the 1 and the 9 in the top part. So this has to be one of them. Again, since this is a 9, over here will be the 1, and here will be a 9. So that makes this a 1. Okay, and a minimum of 4 digits. That means there's nothing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Puts the 9 right there. So now for this 1, in this column, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 14. That can be done with 2, 3, or 4 digits. It won't be 4, because the maximum it could be from this to either edge is 3. Now a 9 could be here, because if this is an 8, it'd be 6 and 8. Or it could be here, because with this being a 6, we could have 3 and 5. But down here, it can't be 2 digits, because I already have a 6 up here. So if it's down here, it's at the bottom. Okay, in this column, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 7. So 1 could be here. I can't have a 3 and 4. And I can't have it up here. So 1 could be here if this is 7. If this is 2 and 5, then a 1 could be here, but not here. Okay. Alright, let's continue looking. So one of these will be a 1. Okay, so this row, we're going from 5, which I can get with 1 or 2 digits. So if I have a 1 here, then this would be a 5 and this would be a 9. This right here cannot be a 1 or a 9, because I couldn't make a 5 in here. So this is an X. So if I had a 1 or a 9 here, the other would have to be here. If I had a 1 or a 9 here, then this would have to be 2 and 3, and this would have to be the other. So that spot can't be a 1 or a 9. We have 11 and 13. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and look a little more. Okay, so patterns here. This, to make a 20, is 3, 4, or 5 digits. It will cover these 3 because I can't fit it just up here. If it could be 2 digits, then that would be a possibility. But that means one of these two has to be a 1 or a 9. Let's say the closest was a 1 or a 9, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. This would be the other. So this spot, it's impossible to be the 1 or the 9. And is to make 11, it's 2 or 3 digits. So if I had a 1 or a 9 here, I could go 2 digits and have the 9 here. If I tried to have a 1 or a 9 here, it wouldn't work because I'd have to go 4 digits. Okay, if I had a 1 or a 9 here, go 3 digits, and then the other. If I had a 9 here, it could go 2 digits or 3 digits. But again, this one I can't because I need 4 digits. Okay, the 25 is made of 4 or 5 digits. It will have to include these 3, which means there is a 4. I'm going to cross this out because it has to have a 4 included. Okay, so if it was 5 digits the most, if I had a 1 or a 9 here, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits, then the other 1 or 9. But this could not be either. Okay. 22, 14, 7, 6 or 8, 2 or 3. Okay, that could be 2 or 3. Yep. Okay, to make the 15, the 9 will have to be over here and the 1 will have to be here, which means a 2 is not included. So it'll be 2 or 3 digits. This cannot be 2 digits, so this will be 3 or 4 digits to make 14. Okay, so something I'm realizing right here. Okay, first let's go to, in this column, one of these 2 will be a 1 or a 9. If it's right here, that's a 1 or a 9. I have 2 or 3 digits to make an 11. So the other will be right here. If right here is the 1 or a 9, it will take 2 or 3 digits to make a 13. So the 1 or the 9 would have to be here. So one of these 2 will be a 1 or a 9. But then also one of these 2 will be a 1 or a 9. Which means this cannot be a 1 or a 9 for the 5. Which means this cannot be. Which means this is a 1 and this is a 9. Which finishes the 1s and 9s in this square and in that column. Okay, in this column, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 22 with 4 or 5 digits. So the 1 could be here or here. And now in this square, I know that this is the 1. In this column, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 14, which can be done with 2, 3, or 4 digits. So the 9 could be here, here, or here. And in this column, since one of these 2 will be a 1 or a 9, and this row, this is a 1 or a 9, I'll have 2 or 3 digits to make 11. So the other digit will be here. And if this is the 1 or the 9, the other digit will be here. So I'm not sure. I might be able to narrow it down further. But I'm also kind of thinking at this point that I might start putting in other digits are 2, 3, and 5. Okay, in this row, there are 4 digits between the 1 and the 9 that add up to 14. That means those digits are 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, there's a 2 over here. So this could be 3, 4, or 5. Okay, there's a 4 in this column. So this could be 2, 3, or 5. And here we could have 2, 3, 4, or 5. And these 2 spots are not a 7. These are 6 or 8. Okay, so 6 or 8. Alright. So over here, okay, so the only possible places for a 1 could be here or here. But I'm going to go ahead and figure out what the other digits could be. So a 1 could be one of these. 2, 3. Any of these could be a 4. And then 5 is here, 6. And any of these could be a 7. Alright, now I'm going to look here. So, a 4 and a 7. There are not both a 4 and a 7 in any options. That means the 1 has to be right here. Because if the 1 was here, these 2 would be a 4 and a 7 between the 1 and the 9. So this is the 1. And that means if this is 4, this could be 3, 8, or 5, 6. If this is 7, then this could be 8, or 3, 5. In this column, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 12. That can be done with 2 or 3 digits. So a 9 could be here, or let's see, 2, 3, or 5, 6, or 8. If this is a 6, this is a 2, this could be 4, this could still be 9. So I can't narrow that down any further. Okay, looking in this column, between the 1 and the 9, the digits add up to 13. If I do the largest here, which is a 7, and the largest here, which is a 5, I get a 12. So this cannot be the 1. Since that cannot be a 1, that means in this row, this cannot be a 1 or a 9. So, one of these is a 1 or a 9, and this is the other, so this is a 9, which finishes this column. And just real fast, let's see. 2 digits between a 1 and a 9 is 6 and 8. So this can't be a 4. And this is either 6 or 8, which means this cannot be 6 or 8, so this is a 4. Okay. Alright, coming back over here, I now have 5 digits blocked off. So this right here is a 1 or a 9. And right here is the other one. So this is an X, and that puts 5 digits, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in this row, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 13. That can be done with 2 or 3 digits. It will have to be 2, because if it was 3, I'd need to put the other one right here. In this column, I already have a 1, so this is a 9, which finishes this column. And means this is a 1, and this is a 9. And I finish this row, the 9 needs to be right here. And in this row, if you remember, it'll be 3 digits to make 11, so that will put the 1 right here. Okay. And in this column, I'm going to have 4 or 5, so well, since this is a 9, it has to have a 1. I cannot have a 1 here because there's a 1 right there and there's a 1 here. So the 1 is going to be right here, which finishes that square and puts a 9 right here. And I now have all the 1s and the 9s. So I'm just going to real quick get rid of all of the X's because I no longer am doing 1s and 9s. Okay. So now, in this row, the digits between 1 and 9 add up to 14 in 4 digits. I'll make it 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 4 in this column, so 2, 3, 5. And these will be 2, 3, 4, 5. And right here, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the outsides over here will be 6, 7, 8. There, 1, 6, 7, 8 there. Okay, in this row I've got 2 digits to make 13. There are, oh wait, you know what, I just noticed there's a 7 in this column. I'm going to get rid of that 7 right there. Okay, and there is a 6 and an 8 in this column, which means this is the 7. Okay. Back to where I was. Okay, this will either be a 6 and a 7 or a 5 and an 8. Okay, this will be an 8 between the 1 and the 9. Okay, here I have 2 digits to make 15. This is a 4 or 7, so this has to be the 7, which means this is an 8. That means this is a 6, and that means this is an 8. And that narrows this down to 4. Okay, in this row, I have 1, 2, I don't have a 3, and then I have 4, and I don't have a 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9. This cannot be a 3 because there's a 3 in this column, so this is the 5. That makes this a 3. This is narrowed down to 3. This is narrowed down to 6. This is narrowed down to 8. This is narrowed down to 6. And this is narrowed down to 8. And now I remember in this row, for the 13, I already have an 8 in this square. So this will be 6 or 7. There's a 7 in this column. So this is the 6. And the this is narrowed down to 6. This has been narrowed down to 2, and this has been narrowed down to 4. Okay, in this column, I have 3 digits to make 11. I already have a 2 and a 6, so this has to be a 3. That narrows this down to 5, and that narrows this down to 3. Okay, in this column I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has to be an 8. This row, to make a 13 with 2 digits, I have an 8. And the other has to be a 5. In this row, I have 3 digits to make 11. It does not include a 6 because there's a 6 outside, so this will be 2, 4, 5. There's a 4 and a 5 in this column, so this is the 2. There's a 4 in this column, so this is the 5. And this is the 4. Okay, looking back at this square, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes this a 7. And then 8, 9. Let's look up. Actually, let's do it here. 2 digits to make a 13. I have a 5. The other will be an 8. So in this column I have 1. This could be either a 2 or a 3. As this is 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, here I've got 2 digits between the 1 and the 9 that make 12. I've already got a 7, so that makes this a 5. And over here, I've got 5 digits that make 20. Okay, and it'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've already got a 4 and a 6. So this could be 2, 3, or 5. There's a 5 here, so this could be 2 or 3. And this already is a 3 and a 5, so this has to be the 2. That narrows this down to 3. Narrows this down